We're back with more NBA Sports Break. I got our NBA expert, Vlad Kitajczyk, here with us. We're going to talk about the Lakers for a short bit. Their season has been over for a while. But good thing, good news, right, that they're in position to keep their draft pick for this year's NBA draft. Is that right? How does that work again?
Right. If they hold on to the top three, if they have a top three pick, they hold on to that pick. If it goes 4 and lower, it goes to the Sixers. So we'll see how that.
So they
falls.
have to be one of the worst 3 records in the NBA, basically, to have the highest chance.
Yes, of course.
To keep that pick.
Yes.
So are Laker fans happy with this? Because at this point, since they're not going to make the playoffs, it's basically like, well, we may as well do badly and keep our pick. And is that okay? Like a whole nother season down the tubes for the Lakers? I mean, I know you had some expectations for this season, especially after the hot start they got off to, 500 through 20 games.
Right. People
started to think that maybe this could be a competitive team.
Yeah.
And they're not. It's basically a repeat of last season now, except with no Kobe. So how are Laker fans feeling about this? Because I know you got your pulse. You're based in LA. You got your pulse over there on Laker Nation. What are they thinking? I mean, how are Laker fans treating this season?
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously it's another year of looking for the draft, looking forward to the draft, because obviously the team is not going to be in the playoffs this year. But there is more upside than there were in other years, because the team has good young pieces and good young players, and there is a hope that these players become something. Or like I said before, if they don't become superstar players, maybe you could trade them for someone, a disgruntled star that's looking to leave his situation and become, basically try to get a great player that way through trade. That's probably the best bet they have going forward. And plus, they could get another great player in this draft, or at least, I don't know, great player, but at least a good young potential player in this year's draft, which is important in the build, in the future of this team, and keep moving forward. But I think they're going in the right direction.
So it's important that they keep this pick, then, is what you're saying. It's actually now a priority. Is this team tanking or no? Tell the truth. Are they tanking?
I don't think they're tanking.
You don't think they're losing on purpose, going in without really any intensity whatsoever?
Well, I mean, they've won a couple games here and there, so it's not like they're going to win. They could win. I mean, they might not. I don't know how many for sure they'll win, but they could win 30 games still this year. They're at 19 now. I mean, they just won the Milwaukee game. I mean, every time they win, I'm kind of surprised and stunned, because they just completely play terrible structured basketball, just running around like
no
strategy.
They fell to bottom 3 in the league. They are one of the top 3, the bottom 3, in the league, top 3 for them. But they are one of the top 3 worst teams in the league. It was a very bad fall they took from around 7th, 8th place all the way down to, I think it's the 2nd worst record in the West.
Yeah.
But they were very bad, honestly. And at this point, it doesn't seem like there's any will for this Laker team to win any games, honestly. When I watch a game, it's like they win, like you say, by accident, Like Nick Young shows up and he throws up some shots,
right,
and we all have a good time and we go home.
Right.
But, one more thing I forgot to mention. Magic Johnson back with the Lakers,
right,
as they say, as an advisor.
Right.
We don't know exactly what his power would be. Or do you think it's any kind of significant having Magic Johnson back? Maybe calling some shots. Could this help the team really?
Well, I mean, only in the sense that I think he is respected in the basketball community amongst players that might have an interest in ever coming to the Lakers. I mean, Magic Johnson's a big name. He's one of the greatest players of all time. We know this, and I mean, he's had a kind of like that type of role with the Dodgers. Obviously, he doesn't know as much about baseball as he does about basketball, but he was a part of the Dodgers turnaround and them, being a winning organization now. So maybe could bring some of that possibility with the Lakers, because they do need any type of help that they can get. And obviously what they've been doing hasn't really been working the last, 5 years or so. So, yeah, I mean, Magic's a big name. He has, and I think he's respected by a lot of the players in this league because who grew up watching him, or, so I think it's a step in the right direction, because I think he should have never been, not part of the organization. He's a Laker. He's been with the Lakers for almost like 30 years. It's great that he's back in the fold. Now, what kind of role he will have, or what kind of power he wants, because he said he wants to call the shots, quote unquote. But obviously, there's Jim Buss, there's Mitch Kupchak. Is that a sign maybe that those guys are going to be soon out the door? Maybe, and maybe it's not even that bad of a thing, because Mitch Kupchak, though, he's had some good times, he's had some rough times, but maybe everything comes to an end. So maybe the Lakers are looking for new leadership who makes the decisions, the basketball decisions for this franchise, and it might not be a bad thing, because obviously they do need to go forward, because they've been going back.
Well, would you trust Magic Johnson as your GM per se, like to make like literally personnel decisions? Does he have any experience doing this? That you just trust him as a basketball mind?
Right.
Like in comparison to the Lakers in their heyday in the early 2000s, right. Jerry West made that team.
Right.
And I'm sure many Laker fans would wish Jerry West was still the GM that whole entire time.
Yes.
But I mean, there's grumblings that he could be coming back to the Lakers after his contract with the Grizzlies is up.
Yeah.
But you'd probably much prefer Jerry West to Magic Johnson, I'm sure, based on experience.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't think Magic should be the actual day-to-day GM, like running the operations of the team. I think it should still be in like an executive role, not like exactly like a Phil Jackson, but he has say. But he doesn't have to run the day-to-day stuff. He can.
You want him to make like
he can be sitting up on the mountain and just like, this is what we do.
Help make some big decisions.
Yeah,
like all right, this is a good trade.
Or like if they need to have a free agent, they could like when they were embarrassingly awful with the Marcus Aldridge situation, where he was just embarrassing for the franchise, where they had to, let's have a second meeting, guys, because we were so bad the first time. Magic Johnson would have a very good meeting set up. He knows what today's players are all about. He knows how to talk to them. He knows what they want to hear, because he was a player, and so that would work better in interviews, because he's so highly respected, and Jim Buss is not, because it's a joke. And Mitch Kupchak, though, is a good basketball mind. Maybe obviously doesn't have the same respect as a Magic Johnson, or definitely not as Jerry West, for sure, either. So
those are all good points. The Lakers did totally blow the off-season free agent, crapshoot or whatever it was. They didn't even have a chance to land anybody significant.
Well, the last couple of years it's been that way. I mean, yeah, and this time they had to spend something. Even though they were not great signings, the Mozgov thing, as I said that was awful at the start, because what good is a big like that when the league is going small? And Deng, who many people felt had kind of passed his prime and no longer as a good player as he was in his day with the Bulls and even with the Heat last year, people were feeling that he was starting to get a little older, and that was not a good move. 4-year deal. Those 4-year deals, they may not seem like a lot, but they add up. And when you're looking to improve as a young team, they're not good. Not good at all. So, but we'll see what the future holds for them. It's going to be interesting. Maybe we'll see if they could turn this thing around. I think there's potential there, though. There's some good young players there, so we'll see.
All right. Well, we shall see. We'll be back with more NBA Sports Break just after these messages.